Come and fast with me. Why? Because our dangerous fat goes down, our visceral fat. Our goal weight can absolutely be achieved over time. And my favorite, our metabolic age goes down. Yes! This is just a home scale, but it's still a good baseline. But first, let's eat! Welcome to day one of our Fasting Mimicking Diet DIY style. This is my round 16, if I could believe that. That blows my mind. As these have progressed, I am now hosting these group calls. So I'm now hosting other people going through this DIY FMD. And it's an absolute honor to be a part of their health journeys and their transformations. In our last group, we had one person who had lost 20 pounds in this last month because she refed very well. Much more to come on that later on. But as usual, I get really nervous about going into a fast and then I want to stuff the face. So all to say that I woke up this morning, it is almost 9 o'clock local time and I haven't had any breakfast yet or any coffee and I am not hungry at all. So because of all of that food. So that has allowed me to stay very full. So today is going to be probably a breeze. I never actually want to say that because the rounds where I think this is going to be a breeze, I am suffering so badly because I'm just overconfident. So respect the struggle, respect the rejuvenation process that is soon to be ours. For our breakfast, we have 4 things, pretty simple: walnuts, carrots, cucumber, and avocado. And then I typically have a black coffee, but this week, as luck will have it, I'm pretty much out of coffee. So we're gonna have a black tea. It's chocolate flavored. Yummy! It is high caffeine, it's velvety and rich, and cacao-infused black tea, steeped for 4 to 5 minutes. Alexa, set timer for 4 minutes.
4 minutes, starting now.
There are other videos that I'll link here that will help you prep all of the food, okay? Literally 2.5 pieces of walnuts. In these 2 walnuts, we're getting our omega-3s, almost 100% of my daily omega-3 intake. Isn't that insane? There's also omega-3s in some of the other ingredients that we will be eating on day 1, so I'm gonna get enough. Reset, 50 grams of carrots. Now, because these have been in water, I'm gonna add a little bit of water weight, which is no bueno, so you might wanna dry these out or just not have the water weight, but I'm okay with a little bit of water weight. I'm not going to go over the 50 grams that I'm allowed. 49.9. I'm just going to stop right there. What could I have done? I could have put it in a salad spinner, which I don't want to dig out of the garage. I could have just pat them dry. I could have let them air dry before I weighed them. So all good options. Next up, cucumber. Now this is 75 grams of cucumber and I'm allowed 80. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a note. Day 1, I'm going to put B for breakfast. Alexa, stop timer. Our tea is ready. Anyway, I'm gonna put B for breakfast and I'm gonna put minus 5 grams cucumber to let myself know that I am allowed to have 5 extra grams of cucumber later on today. Cheers to that. Oh yeah. And yeah, I'm shaving off the little tips and I'm not gonna eat that, and that's going to weigh something. I also see kind of a yucky part right there that I'm also not going to eat. So that's gonna weigh something. So this is now going to be 74.2 pounds. Now, you can totally tell yourself that you need 5.8 more grams of cucumber later on today. It depends on how exact you want to be. I like being exact, but because I've done so many rounds of this, of being exact, and then also having a little bit of leniency, I'm always in the fasting state every single round. And every single round, I see benefits. So I'm not as meticulous anymore. Reset the tear. Now, this avocado has been in the fridge for I don't even know how long. We get to have 80 grams of avocado for breakfast. So let's test out. Ooh, yes. I'm not going to shave off 10 grams. I'm just going to subtract 10 grams of avocado from my lunch salad. For our lunch salad, we're allowed 50 grams of avocado, so I'm only going to have 40. We are getting a little bit late in the day. I'm starting this at 12 local time. Here we go. Oh yeah. I actually love this breakfast. I love it so much. I love also to have lots of pepper. Definitely salt my avocado. That is an absolute must for me. And I also love to salt my cucumber. My husband likes to salt everything. And so now I've got my hot tea, I've got my breakfast, I've got you, and this is what we are going to nourish ourselves to kick off our week of our DIY fasting mimicking diet. Bon appetito. It's snack time. I'm out and about, so that's why I have my cashews packed. I've already had my olives, which was the other snack today, and now it's time for these babies. Tonight I wanted a soup, so I sauteed everything, added some water, some salt, and it actually smells really good. Shockingly.
Thank you for being such a good friend to Anya.
Yum. Alrighty, it is day 2 and we're gonna measure our ketones this morning because I have a feeling that I am potentially in ketosis, but let's see. So, wash my hands, get this ketone meter reader out. Clean lancet goes into my pricky thingy. Take that little tip off. This goes back in. I'm gonna set it at a 3 or 4. Here's my ketone reader. I've got all these little keto blood reader thingies. Gosh, I'm so technical. All right, stick this in. Turned on. There we go. She ready. She ready. Prick myself. Oh boy. There we go. There's some blood. I won't show you the blood. You might get squeamish. All right, let's see if we are got any ketones going. 0.1. I mean 1, holy moly, it's not 0.1, it's 1, it's 1.0. Oh my gosh, I'm already at 1.0. That seems kind of high for me, but that's okay. Technically 0.5 to 3, according to Google, we are in a high fat burning mode. So that's neat. I feel pretty good today. Yesterday I was hungry and there were multiple times when I was kind of like, oh, I feel like a snack. So I think I'm gonna go get a snack, but I did not do that. I stuck to the menu. And then last night I actually blended my soup a little bit and it was so good. I showed you. Today I'm gonna go for a walk. I'm going to then treat myself to some tea, have my breakfast, and then I have a manifestation call, which is gonna be interesting. Don't know what manifestation is all about, but we shall find out. So the days are going on as they should. I'm not like starving, hungry, but also probably because I've done this multiple times. The first few times I've done this, it was hard. It was so hard, and all I could think about was food constantly, all the time. So yeah, today we dropped down in calories, so it's gonna be a major shift compared to yesterday. So I would just be very cognizant of that if you are also fasting with me, and just go easy on yourself because that shift from 1100 down to 800 calories, even though that's only a few calories, it is a big deal and you might really feel it. So go easy, allow those ketone bodies to spread throughout the body, and just know that ketones are supposed to suppress appetite. It works. When we're mindful of that kind of thing happening, then it just works a lot better. Physically, I feel fine. I do feel that bit of like emptiness in my belly, some hunger, but it's not that bad. I did poop today, so that was good. The plumbing is still working, that's nice. And that's about it. So All right, well, I had a very interesting meeting. It was great and got a lot of work ahead of me. But now it's time for lunch. So I've prepped my lunch, and I have to say, like, during the week when you don't really have a ton of time, it's so nice to just have this ready to go. I've already washed the outside of this. Now because I've done this DIY so many times, I'm not going to technically measure my olive oil into dressing, but I am going to lightly dress it. Hello. So very lightly dress it, and then OMG, that smells so good. Holy moly. Douse it in that gorgeous citrus, some salt and pepper. Let's mix her around. Smells delightful. Mixed greens, some bell pepper, some cucumber, broccoli, and cherry tomatoes and basil. Oil, lemon juice, salt, pepper. Done. Delicious. Oh yeah, how juicy those are. It's dinner time, and I just put this whole saute pan onto my scale and measured everything out, cut it up. I'm gonna teach you a little hack. I'm actually going to skip my carrots and butternut squash just because I don't have any butternut squash. I forgot it. And I have some kimchi in here, which is like plastic wrapped with the super tight lid because otherwise it's gonna stink up your fridge. And I'm gonna have my stir fry tonight with 2 pieces of this kimchi. So I'm going to replace the plants that I'm not including in my stir fry with the kimchi. Mouth is watering already. In the meantime, I'm making curry for the fam. With the curry mix, potatoes, peas, rice, onion. Simple. Curry rice. Not for me, unfortunately. It's day 3 of our fast. I'm hosting this group fast, and we've got 23 participants in this round. I recognize some names because we've been chatting over the months here and there. And today's topic was about autophagy. I haven't mentioned about cancer because that is personally just something that's happened in my life with loved ones. We've lost now 2 people and a dog, even a dog, through this terrible disease. And the fact that there's just so many of us who are going to be riddled with it and also get it at such young ages is unacceptable. This morning I got a response from one of our fasters, and it brought me to tears. It just made me feel so sad. And very happy for her, and very grateful that she shared her words with me. It's also such a contrast of feelings, you know. On one end of the spectrum, I'm so happy for her, and she's very inspiring. On the other hand, it's actually heartbreaking because, you know, why couldn't that happen to Joyce? Why couldn't we help her? So all to say that things don't always end well. We have to enjoy life as it is, but there are things that we can try, and I have reverence for all of these fasters who are doing this work, and I really do think they're badasses. And I'm gonna lump myself in with that group and say that we are badasses. Bit behind on my food today, so we just went skating. Got my little cooler with some ice packs to keep this guy nice and cold. Oh yeah, baby, gotta stay hydrated. And I packed my salad And oh, it's so small, but this amount of food is actually going to nourish me so well, so nicely. And I added some just sauteed bell peppers, and they smell so good. Bon appetito. All right, now we are home, and I made myself the same dinner as I did last night with my last piece of radish kimchi. And I am tired. I kind of overexerted myself a little bit today. Didn't get a ton of sleep last night. Oops, there goes my chopstick. I'm gonna enjoy this dinner and just have a sit down on the couch and relax, chill out, and then got cleaning to do and more work before I hit the sack. Bon appetito. Day 4 morning, we just wrapped up our group call and talked a lot about accountability and really addictions, because that's kind of almost why we're in this situation right now, where we want to like clean up our health and do all the things. And a very interesting point and a great point that I am going to remember is a concept of like the law of diminishing returns and the bliss point. So when we are snacking on our favorite snacks like those Doritos and Oreos, there is that bliss point that we reach, and it peaks at just a few pieces of those Doritos, a few chips or a few cookies, and then it starts diminishing. That's where we should stop eating. Easier said than done, but totally possible. That is gonna be helpful for me as I think about the times when I may overindulge and I wanna stop myself. I will tell you though, honestly, I used to overindulge all the time. I mean, if I can overindulge in every single meal, I will take that opportunity to do that. But what I've learned from multiple rounds of fasting is that I can totally change that behavior. And now I can just enjoy it, hit that bliss point. It's almost as if my bliss point sensors are more heightened and they're just working better. But I will just enjoy my stuff and then stop, which blows my mind, the fact that I can actually do that. So, time to take our ketones. Yesterday we were at 1.5. Today, let's see where we were at. 1.9. Woo! I was actually guessing that it's going to be in the high ones, and yeah, 1.9. This is apparently the lowest level of ketone bodies throughout the day, and so expect that they may rise. All right, well, last night I had some crazy nightmares. Woo-wee! Wow. What I like to do after I dream is I like to write down my dreams. I like to look up the dream interpretation using dreammoods.com. I've been using this website for years. If there were like Dream Moods merch, I would totally want it. And then I look at the definitions or the interpretations, and then I will just do my morning pages. So soon I'm gonna have my coffee, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna bust out my morning pages, and something will come through. As in like a lesson that I should be learning right now, or something that I should be more mindful of, something that I should correct, something that I should be very deeply grateful for. But it's something, it's always a lesson that comes out through the fasting state. And the reason why I think that happens is I know that when I'm fasting, I'm in my natural state. And in our natural state, we have so much clarity, we have a lot of abundance, and we have this optimistic feeling and this confidence that we can conquer the world. I get a hint of that at least. And just like Gandhi says, the light of the world illuminates within us when we fast and purify ourselves. All right, it is day 5. I feel like an old hat at this, but also there's always so much to learn. When it comes to fasting, when it comes to human health, nutrition, the healing journey, of course, is a ride. All right, so I'm gonna measure my ketones one last time. Actually, that's not true. I measure them on day 6 because I'm just curious, after a full 5 days, what does that look like? 3, 2, 1. I'm shaky. 2.9. I haven't had coffee yet, I've just had water. I'm not like super well rested, but I feel good. Yeah, I feel totally fine. I'm gonna take Ruby out for a walk after my call. Today our neurons are going crazy. We might have a jolt of energy. Oh, I'm definitely shrinking in a lot of different areas. My waist area is shrinking. I'm sure my arms, like everything is kind of shrinking. The trick again, as I always say, and I always know, it's all about the refeeding and refeeding as well as possible. So if we're on a weight loss journey, really understanding calorie dense foods. If we're on a health journey, then focusing on just the highest nutritious foods you can possibly get, and learning how to make certain decisions when you go out to eat, as well as just like grocery shopping and cooking for yourself, or not even cooking. You don't even have to really cook. You can just prep the food and just buy cooked food that's already cooked, and all you gotta do is throw it together. Maybe put on some yummy seasoning or sauce, or have it with like a side of kimchi, and you're golden. Suffering. I have only had my breakfast, didn't even finish it. Had some coffee, had some water, and now it's time for my lunch. I'm gonna have my snack first because it's easier to prepare, and then my dinner in a couple of hours, and I'm just like weak. I sat out in the sun for 20 minutes, probably not a good idea. I'm tired, the energy is drained, but of course it's because I got no food in me. When I did this the first time, this whole process right now is reminding me of my first time around doing this, and I remember gobbling up my snack so much as if I didn't have those calories, it's like as if I wouldn't have access to food for like a year. That's how ravenous I was. And because I was so shaky and clumsy and hungry, I dropped my food on the ground. And instead of like picking it up and giving it that blow just to dust off anything that I could have picked up from our floors, I just popped it in my mouth. I'm just gonna rinse these bloobs. They're gigantic. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. This blue color, the antioxidant anthocyanins. Oh my gosh, so good. I don't even care if they're a little sour. I mean, who knew that this tiny little plant could offer us so much power and vitality, brain health, antioxidants, soaking up all those free radicals that are floating around in our bodies and trapping them into our intestines and flushing it out in our poop. Okay, the life is coming back in me. It's coming back. So now I can stand up. They're just so beautiful. Beautiful bloobs. Hallelujah. That one was so sweet. Dang, that's good. One piece of sourdough bread. This is going to replace my 52 grams of sweet potato for my dinner dessert, and just the thinnest layer of actual jam. So like, this is part of the beauty that is the FMD, that it's moderate carbs. This is some added sugar for sure. I'm just gonna see how it messes up with my fast. When I measure my ketones tomorrow morning, am I gonna be totally kicked out of ketosis? Like, this was probably like a half of a teaspoon of jam. How far can I push this carb thing and see what happens? If I actually kick myself out of ketosis, I'm okay with that. The absolute key is for me to refeed continuously as best as I can. Last meal, I literally brought my weight scale like a weirdo. There we go. Test it out and see what happens tomorrow. Who, me? Stop at 152. 150, 158, 152, 152.4, 152.4.
You're gonna eat it on your scale.
It is day 6. I'm about to break my fast. All right, so I'm gonna check my ketones, especially from my little experimente yesterday. So let's see. Ooh, so it's at 2.9 today. That's quite high. So yeah, I'm still in ketosis today. My advice to you is the most important thing is to listen to those elevated leptin hormones, which signals to our brain that we are full. So we are gonna get full very quickly, very easily, and that's gonna happen for as long as you wanna keep it happening. So as long as we don't overeat, overstuff ourselves, and especially not introduce weird chemicals, then that leptin hormone will continue to stay elevated and all is good. Tonight, I'm supposed to go out. I'm gonna nurse one drink. We'll see how that goes.